Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the Military Ration Museum Bulletin. This is number 52. It is Sunday, September 12th, 2021. So, you just get caught up. I chopped off the beginning of the chat, at least from my perspective, so I'm just going to jump in here. First, just want to say condolences for sure to Yossi. I heard from him he lost his mother just this week. I also heard from Old Smoky that Miss Marilyn also lost her mother, and just wanted to offer condolences there as well. So 2021 continues, but good to have all you guys back here. Sorry to start with a somber note, just absolutely wanted to offer my condolences there to the both of you. Pete, I do see you're in here. Bus stop, welcome. Yossi, I do see you here too. So means a lot to me that you made this show, even with everything that's going on. I hope some of it's going to help improve your mood, at least a little bit. Aletha, good to catch you. I heard you were, not doing so hot in between streams as well. So hope it's on the up and up. Hope we're on an upward trajectory. But yeah, been a long couple weeks off, it seems. Lost a third of your body weight. Oh my gosh. Well, I hope you've got good medical help and are working through a plan to improve that. Fordman, good to have you here as well. So it's been 2 weeks since the last stream, right? Or did I take two? It's been 3 weeks since the last stream. I was gone for 2 weekends in a row. I went out to the Nevada desert, went to an event that wasn't an event. So some of you may know, every year for more than a decade, I go to Burning Man, as a participant, for years, as a camp founder and runner for years, and then back to just being a participant, which was great. But this year and last year, the event was canceled. The year before that, I had taken a year off, so it's been a while since I had been out there. And with the event canceled last year, a few thousand people went out there and went camping, and went and chatted with each other, had some Burning Man style things going on. It was a good time. A lot of us felt, that we missed out a bit on that, and that's just fear of missing out, neither here nor there. But this year, a lot more people decided, well, it's at least a bit safer to travel. We're going to go into the middle of nowhere. Let's see what we can put together. The Bureau of Land Management handed down a whole series of rules of what we couldn't do, and they didn't get in the way of having a great time. So over 20,000 of us ended up going out, setting up with no one in charge. Literally no one in charge, no organization of any kind other than an open source map that people could choose to add themselves to. We didn't. We weren't on the map. So we're hundreds and hundreds of other groups of people that weren't on the map, in terms of, knowing exactly where folks had hoped to be. But anyway, end result was one of the most amazing weeks I've ever had, among creative, ridiculous, wonderful people out in the open desert. Has the best darn camping trip I've ever had. So coming back recharged and powered up by that whole experience, and hoping to share that with you guys. So it looks like we've got James and Rosie, and hey, Oscar. Was just talking with Oscar yesterday. Speaking of the devil, just wanted to show you the set that I picked out. So this is the best 69 box that I have. There's one other that's got a few rust spots, and this one has just a little tiny bit at the bottom, and I think there's one little one on the back. Now the other one, this is the only part 2 of 2 I have from the 69 series. The 66 one is the one I just got that I can't let go of, but this has this where the key was, that is pulled. So just wanted to make sure if that changes anything, let me know. Otherwise, we're still on for the trade. So I'm picking up a assault ration, a ration assault individual bagged from Oscar in exchange for one of these. Okay, so put those to the side, get them back packed up in a bit. I hope everybody is ready for some mail call. Then I've got to kind of assemble this space, and I've got to pick out what we're going to eat today at some point. And then I've got a little film that I'm going to try and get to play in here. It was a very important person's birthday yesterday in history. Somebody born more than 100 years ago, but still was just a nice reminder, because he's near and dear to all our hearts, whether you know yet or not. So we'll talk about that a little later in the show. And I'll probably use that video as an excuse to go figure out what we're gonna tuck into today. Either an 07 MRE or maybe a 91 MRE, but maybe something international. I'll have to take a look. So first off, let's get the camera swapped around, and we're going to take a look. Let's see. Use that for cataloging a bit later. We're going to take a look at our mail call items. So let's see. Get this. Swapped over. Hey, there we go. I actually remembered to do it this week. So we've got 3 packages that showed up while I was gone that I'm excited to share with you guys. We've got 2 that are pretty closely attached, and another one that I think we'll start with. So just gonna take a look inside the first one. Remember to mute my phone before that causes problems. Says survival food packet. I believe this is the food packet survival. I think tropical is what this one is. We'll just see in a second. Glad I pulled out the knife. This thing is pretty much just made of tape, which is all right. Overly protected packaging is never going to be something that bothers me. Takes a little while to open, but you know, takes a little extra to damage it in the first place, so that's good. So this one was just a deal it couldn't pass up kind of thing. It's in rough shape, and I may just open it as a result. But this one was under 100. And may just be a good opportunity to take a look inside if we figure out that a lot of this damage turns out to be exterior. Otherwise, not sure. All right, so we got a little chunk of like blue paint there over top of everything. Got some rough looking seams most of the way around. But I don't see anything necessarily coming from inside. So that's a good sign. We've got just general rust up there. There's a tiny bit of, tiny little bit of potentially like dry sugar or something on there. underneath, we're looking pretty good overall. So I would think, you know, and just, there doesn't seem to be any give to it in terms of like still holding the seal. So I don't know. This is a toss-up in terms of condition. There's no key still on it, and the starting tab. Huh? Is there a starting tab at all? This one doesn't have an obvious score, and there doesn't appear to be a starting tab. Though it did have. Oh no! Look at that telltale sign. What am I thinking? That's not a key. That right there is a P38 can opener on the bottom of that. So this was just a open with a regular can opener variety. Yeah, that's definitely a P38 outline. So no tab to start cutting. That's generally where these things broke down first. So, I mean, this isn't a great display one. The idea would be that hopefully the contents would be nice enough to display next to one that's still sealed. That's a good display, you know, example. If opened well enough, though, this could still be, you know, I mean, this could still be worth displaying in some capacity, but I don't know. What do you guys think? What time is Smokey on? Well, I'm off at 7, so he might be jumping right in at 7. And I'm using the Restream chat since I'm going to Twitch and YouTube. I think I have it set so that I see everything. If you guys ever feel like I'm potentially missing something that somebody's saying, point me to it or repeat it or anything. You know, just a little paranoid right now that I may miss something. Trying new tech, and that's also why I was super late getting up and running today. Let's see. Oh no. I had turned on the laptop and started streaming and forgot that I have to separately go into Restream and tell it where the new streams are. So I think for a few minutes there I streamed a bit to the end of last week. I don't know what that'll do or screw up. Here's hoping not much. Let's see. So it doesn't look like we have any strong opinions about opening this or not. I think I'm leaning open. I'm just going to put that to the side right now. We're going to jump into 2 more mail call items. So this one was one I picked up first of this set of 3 rations. And, well, not set, this set of 3 different purchases. And had been looking for a sealed one of these for a while. But in the end, right after that, in a separate auction, I picked up not only one of these, but a number of other things all together for a little bit less than I paid for this. So that, you know, and then, then found out, well, I'll tell you that story in a minute, and found out something even better about the other auction, you know, that was this whole pile. So this is a variety that I hadn't picked up yet. This is the Sardine Can Survival Pack. So this kind has like a pudding can kind of ring where you just pull it back and the whole top peels off. Inside you're going to find charms, probably some bubble gum, but we'll get to find out, I think, because I ended up with 2 sealed ones. This one is made in March of 1972. Almost forgot to highlight that. It's a little dented in a few spots, but overall, this top is in perfect condition. Looks really nice. So now that leads us into this item set collection that looked like it had an open one of these, but in the description said, you know, I'm using an open one to show you what's inside. Yours will come sealed. So, you know, we'll see. It looks like the other, you know, the other one he had in a picture did look sealed, so in the background, but it was a smaller picture, so we'll see what kind of shape it ends up being. All right, there we go. Get those boxes, bags, and etc. out of the way. Hey, Sunshine. Welcome to the chat. We need a little sunshine today. Sounds like Foreman's asking, ever use crochet needles as chopsticks? Don't they have a little hook at the end or something? All right, so this was a whole lot of abandoned aircraft kind of gear. So this is an aircraft or life raft ration. These are all, well, actually, a lot of these could be life raft pieces. You know, I think it actually probably makes a little more sense, but could be for bailout over water as well. So we've got the sunburn prevention cream, which I actually have never picked up a can of this. So military sunscreen, it's already greasy through several layers of plastic so far. So that's thankfully put on paper and separated. We're going to put that off to the side for now, up there. This looks like a loaf of bread, but I assure you it is not a loaf of bread. So these items, a lot of these things aren't necessarily rations, you know, or aren't rations, not necessarily about it, but a lot of these items aren't rations, but they'll go together in a nice display about the purpose of these bailout kits. So it's nice to get them all together, but the fact that this whole pile costs less than this can, which was a good deal and was less than like 2/3 the price of what they normally go for. This was just a nice deal overall. So here's the second one of these. This one is also from the same series, March of 1972. That's interesting. So they were brothers once. This one's stamped 21, so is this one. So they're pretty much side by side in terms of timing. Same line. All right. Now we're getting into the other items, which have some sharp bits, so let's hope I don't cut myself on any of these. Waves flashing lights at me. Let's see. Elite is going to be in Pennsylvania the first week of October. Is there going to be a Bloomsburg Fair? Is there going to be a Bloomsburg Fair this year? Tell me that's why you're going to be here the first week of October, because I'd be excited about that. Let me turn this a little bit. Definitely would be excited about that. Haven't been to a Bloomsburg Fair in a very long time. And if anybody's not familiar, well, I mean, I'm assuming nearly none of you are familiar, but Bloomsburg Fair is something pretty darn awesome in terms of like state fairs and carnivals and all that. There's a huge carnival section, there's Midway, there's performances in the middle. I saw Weird Al there, Brooks and Dunn, you know, some random stuff. All right, so if you haven't figured it out, we have a lot of raft-related stuff, starting with a Desalter Kit. So this breaks out and builds a desalination or desalinization. I never know which one it is. Salt removing apparatus that you can put seawater into that'll evaporate it, and that evaporated seawater will recondense, and you'll get just pure water out of it. The salts stay behind in the tank that's providing the water for evaporation. So the point of this is to be able to produce a good amount of water. So this kit by the Van Brode Milling Company, actually, who's made a number of other things like this that we've seen over the years. Let's see. So this is made in the third quarter of 1968. 8 packs of chemicals, 1 plastic bag, 1 card of tape for mending the bag. And each chemical will make about 1 pint of drinking water. Oh, I'm misspeaking. I don't know. I don't think this is an evaporative one. This may be just something that binds with the salt and pulls it out, just a chemical drinking water converter kit, which that's pretty awesome. If so, I'm not familiar with that technology. Again, this area is not where my expertise would lie. These are ancillary things that are going to go along, with the situation when you want to have your bailout food, which, like a lot of these abandoned aircraft and abandoned ship rations, is just a bunch of charms. Hey, you're trapped at sea. Here's some hard candy. There's a good reason for that. It keeps saliva flowing, and it's hard to damage with salt water. It can be hit repeatedly and only lose a tiny little bit of itself. Let's see, we've got a sea dye marker. So this is making your position much more obvious when there's potential rescue. Planes going over, you want to be more than just a little speck on the water. So you'd pull the tab and release a very obvious stain on the surface of the ocean that emanates out from your position. So it's a great big arrow that points to where you're at. So we've got a sea dye marker there. Yossi says, open the can. All right, we're going to open one of these food packet life wrap cans to have as our opening sample. And I think we'll go ahead and open this great big one too. Though I wish I had my sideways can opener for that. I don't know that it'll work on these kinds of corners, but I guess we'll take this from the bottom and it'll still look like it looks. It's just I hate those jagged, jab-in edges now that I've been exposed to perfect smooth. So we've got, Batman would love this. Batman would love this. We've got shark repellent. And, as seen in Batman 1966, the Robin get the bat shark repellent. So I guess this is an item that's going to make the area around you extremely unattractive and unpalatable to sharks. This is made by Presto Dye Chem Company. Let's see. We know the first one was Van Brode. Let's see if this dye has a maker mark. Doesn't seem to. And it's still sealed, so let's keep it that way. We've got our shark repellent. We've got our Desalter Kit. We've got our Sunburn cream. We've got our abandoned aircraft, or food packet survival, aircraft, and life raft. I keep saying it incorrectly. And last but not least, I wonder what this could be. Let's see what the date was on this. 1972. See, there we go. January 1972 on that one. So we've got 72, unknown, 68, 72. Yep. So I don't know that all of these came from the same kit. It would stand to reason that they did, or that they were put together by a collector looking for a Vietnam-era bailout kit. Or a Vietnam-era life raft survival kit, which is pretty much what this all goes together to make. Though this knife seems like a general survival knife. Let's see. I'm sure there was a starting point to this that would have made this all super simple, but I just started tearing. And just keep making it worse. All right, there we go. There's a spot. Oh, let's see. Got to see if you answered me about Bloomsburg. Maybe sometime at the fair. Gotcha. Can't even do anything at Knoebels. Getting back there and not being able to go to rides does not sound fun. Started out moving pretty easy there. Oh, I thought this was like an official sheath. This is just packing material that I'm like trying to carefully remove. That's just cardboard. All right, wake up, Sean. Just looks like we got ourselves a knife. Ooh, definitely a sharp knife. Come back, cardboard. Just gonna do that for now. End does not come off. Just thinking that for a second. We got a stamp on here. Ontario, September 1987. Ontario Knife Company, or made in Ontario. Let's see. Probably more likely. Ontario Knife Company, established 1889, also known as OKC. All right. The Okc Retractable Bayonet. That's not what this is. All right. So, Ontario Knife Company, made in 1987. So, I would not say that this has any connection directly to the rest of these late 60s, early 70s life raft items. But nice to have it in a kit. Nice to get a good knife. I like this one. It's definitely a fixable. This locking bolt in the back, or nut in the back, and then these 2 points. So that's meant to be affixed as a bayonet, but probably did not come out of a bag on a life raft did not come out of a bag in a life raft in the 1970s. All right, so let's get this packing material out of here. Looks like a knife in the leg holster kit Steve reviewed. Were there any of these other kinds of things in there? Leg holster kit, like for an ejector seat, I would assume. Or I mean, like an injectable aircraft, so you'd have stuff strapped pretty much everywhere you could. Let's see. We've got, this one's got, a pretty heavily dented side. The top's dented. And this one, as soon as I'm done tossing it around, maybe it won't be the same. But this one looks like it's in better shape. So I think we'll want to open this one. It'd be nice if I could get around there, but without a Dremel and everything, we're just going to take a look inside this one. All right, everybody ready? The bend, in the end, is making me worried about pulling on this, but let's see anyway. Now, this is just bending, so we would want this to punch in, peel back. So I'm going to put this right there. Oop, nope. Move all these items. I mean, I certainly don't want to rip the ring off, is my concern. If seems a little crazy that I'm being so careful here, because I think, you know, it should be possible to pop it back in for the most part. All right, well that was this little inner seal on the bottom, where with the second ring, so that popped. Maybe that'll give us the leverage on the top. Well, still not. But we're committed now. Let me just, no, that's really solid. I'm not going to really bend that back out of the way. I mean, let's see, you just rip the thing open. Really wouldn't care about the can. But right here, just this dent being exactly where it is changing the way the metal would pull back in enough of a way that I'm still concerned. Should have brought one of those little plastic tools I have for something like this. Hey, Smitty. Good to have you. How's it going? Thanks for sharing that pizza pasta just the other day. That was a good one. All right, just gonna help get this thing started along this seam. Actually, I may be able to follow the seam for the most part. See if that helps. Not entirely. So you're watching me struggle to open a sardine can. I'm sure it's thrilling. Here we go. There we go. And it's still going to break off. Still going to break off after all that. Trying to avoid the normal curl. Should have gloves. Don't have gloves on. Just going to go slow. So, Rations, I've had okay luck not cutting myself. I've cut myself on a couple of these kinds of cans for sure, but computers, on the other hand, I can't work on a computer pretty much ever without cutting myself. I don't know that it's ever successfully happened. All right, so charms, the Life Wrap ration of champions. Here we go. We've got a sealable inner bag, a piece of string, 2 boxes of chiclets, 2 10-cent packages of charms, and we have a instruction piece of paper. All right, let's see. What does this say? The food in this packet, especially developed for survival use, will be beneficial even when water supply is limited. When entirely consumed by one man in one day, the packet will maintain survival efficiency. Items must not be allowed to get wet. Keep unused components in plastic bag. Use twine to tie mouth separately. Not this one, the bag. So don't tie your mouth shut. Don't follow these two directly. That's probably taken out a few soldiers along the way, but just going straight for the tie mouth shut. So obviously this is nowhere near enough calories for a day, even for someone laying flat on their back. A good portion of this is just the morale factor. for getting some quick burst energy when you absolutely need it. But I don't know, let's see what the nutrition facts are on 1 ounce Charms calories. Of course, there's like 8 billion new things. I'm just trying to find the calories in 1 package of Charms. Assorted Charms nutrition facts. Blow Pops, cotton candy, carnival candy, shop candy, blah 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 blah. There's like 8 billion things that Charms makes. Charms assorted candies, 13 calories a piece. How many are in this? Now that's a whole nother layer. A tenth of an ounce. So that would assume 10, but let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we got 10 in here. We got 30 calories a pack. Is that really? No, 130 calories a pack. So we have 260 calories of Charms total, which that's, that's nothing. That's an eighth of a day. Laying flat on your back, not moving at sea, it's probably not even that. It takes a lot of, muscle reaction to just be in constant undulation, so I don't know. Laying, in a dark, cool place, where you don't have to expend a ton of extra calories, maybe it's an eighth of a day, but this is, purely morale at one person for one day. The chewing gum keeps your mind, away from the idea of not putting anything in your mouth, just because you get to use it for as long as you want. And I would assume in these situations you'd stretch it until it was just absolutely nothing left. Is Halloween celebrated in Canada? I mean, how could it not be? There's Americans up there. Americans don't leave their holidays behind. I won't make any jokes about Canada being America's hat today, I promise. No jokes. Nothing like that. How come you never see just assorted Charms in stores anymore? Fordman's asking. I think maybe that's why they're making all the other stuff, is they feel like if it's not citric acid infused, crazy tart and changing colors and whatever else everybody wants these days, that maybe people won't, even buy it. But I don't know. I don't know what their numbers are. It surprises me sometimes how much people still are able to get from seemingly forgotten kinds of products. Oh, this is going to go underneath. Work with a company that does all kinds of little checkout tchotchkes. So they have a division that's still doing paint by numbers, and they're making a few $1 million a year off of just cranking out not half a dozen, but cranking out new paint by numbers pictures to sell in little books at checkouts for $2. So I broke this off, which was my concern, but I think we'll be able to get it reattached. Just keep on rolling them dice on cutting my fingers here. So this ring might be able to get fit back into here. If not, it's not the end of the world. really glad we got the experience of opening one of these. Either way. So let's see. Can this anyway be kind of pushed back? Doesn't really seem like it. So it may just be one that stores open. But for right now, let's see. Let's just take this whole thing all the rest of the way off carefully, and then we can store it flat. Making a lot of sideways contact. There we go. All right, the lid held up, a little dented. The inner pack. I'm gonna lay these chiclets down. There we go. That's a nice looking Lrp ration. So that's right next to that. I think that's the point. Like, you know, that's what I want to do. Have a side by side, open and closed. Keep these pieces here. James says he has an OKC Wrap 1. What's that? Ontario Knife Company Wrap? Is that a one of their knives? An OKC Wrap? All right, let's see if I can get something working. I have a thought. Actually, let me switch back over to this. Lay this stuff back out while we're wrapping up mail call. This was a good one. A lot of this stuff was in transit while I was traveling. I wasn't sure, you know, when it was all going to get here, but I was pretty confident most of it would be here by the time I got here, and it looks like that worked out. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna try and get this video going for you guys. Then I can set up the film space and set up the tray, and we'll have a little snack in a little bit. Put chiclets in my front teeth. No, that's not my plan. Not going to eat any of those, but I'm sure that would trigger somebody. Let's see. The Wrap 1 is a sick knife. Hey, Readiness Reviews, welcome. Any word yet on the episode you filmed for that show? Oh, and thanks for the welcome home. Yeah, let's talk at some point. It was if you go back to the beginning of this, I talked a little bit about Renegade Burn, which, holy heck. I mean, nothing compares to it in a long time. But, all right, let's see. I'm going to see if I can get this video clip going, and then I'll fill you in on why I picked this for today, if it works. Actually, I know a really quick way to make this work. Thank you, Chrome, for being easy to jam random stuff into in a pinch. So, a little background. Let's see if I have this open anywhere. Yesterday was the birthday of J.C. Hormel, the son of George Hormel, the founder, who was the founder of the Hormel Meat Company. But Jay served in World War I. He was the chief quartermaster in Tours, France, in the 351st 351st Regiment in the 80th Division. I have this written down somewhere. Let me find it. Okay, so I'm starting to try and actually use social media a good chunk, so I'm going to start posting more little tidbits of history and stuff on the Ration Museum Twitter. But let's see. So yesterday, Chief Quartermaster, 351st Infantry, 88th Division, serving in Tours, France in World War I, J. Catherwood Hormel. So we know him and love him as the father of Spam. So in between World War I and World War II, he came back ready to go to bring what he knew from food service in war to practice and to make better products from his own company. That then, by the time World War II rolled around, ended up being perfectly poised to assist in the war efforts here and abroad. So between 1940 and 1944, the Hormel Meat Company produced 133 million cans of Spam and other Spam-style products that went to soldiers and civilians overseas. Millions and millions and millions of cans went into Russia and supported our allies at the time, the Russians, in their efforts to fight the Nazis on the Eastern Front, while also providing huge amounts, tens of millions of cans to the European war efforts, both for civilian use and for military use. So that would have been J.C. Hormel's 129th birthday yesterday. So let's all give him a salute. The man behind the wartime rationing efforts and for Hormel and the military production efforts. Not to mention, as we already mentioned, father of Spam. So with that, let me bring up this quick video. This is Hormel from 1965, a tribute to their production history. Let's see. And while you guys are watching that, I'm going to get some things set up. If there's sound, I didn't think about this. This might not. We'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of Chrome open. Let's reduce that. I have a little difficulty there. Let's see. Maybe I can try another way. Just keep bearing with me. Gonna try and add a media source here and fire that up. No. One more try. One more try. Let's see. What if we try and capture just directly from playing the video itself? Almost. Sure, this is thrilling. I was about 50% ready to go when we started today. All right, here we go. Transition over to that. All right. Now let's see if audio comes through. Nope. All right. Almost, almost. 30 more seconds. Add an audio source. All right. Anybody see Old Smoky yet? Oh, hey, got a bounce readiness. Good having you here. Welcome back anytime. You picked a good time to bounce. This is, you know, the 1 hour out of 4 hour mark. We're a little disorganized here today. All right, look at default device. It's funny, putting this clip on so that I can do some behind the scenes stuff and not bother you guys with it, and that's what happens with it. Anyway. All right, so this audio output. All right, now I should be able to pause myself and turn this on, and you guys should.
Brad and Greg, sons of Dale Rugg, a typical Minnesota farmer. Minnesota annually ships large quantities of meat and other agricultural products to
Success. Okay. Learning experience, much easier next time. Here we go. Muting myself, going away, getting stuff set up, back in 10. Enjoy the meat. Enjoy the meat.
consumers throughout the United States and in foreign countries.
Gee whiz, look at all them Hormel cars. Yeah, wonder what's in them and where they're going. Hey, I know what. Let's write a letter and ask if we can visit the plant. Dad'll take us, I bet.
Adventure. adventurous boys. Curiosity and dreams all lead to something very special that Dad would enjoy too.
Gentlemen, we would sure like to visit your plant. My dad said he would come with us if you would let us take a tour. Please let us know. Yours truly, Greg and Brad Rugg.
It's fun to write a letter and look forward to a reply. In Austin, the Secretary to the Public Relations Director receives daily inquiries concerning plant tours, job opportunities, and information about the company. The Brad and Greg letter receives prompt attention. The Austin plant receptionist registers all visitors and makes special arrangements when boys like Brad and Greg write in. Regular tours are scheduled daily Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. Has the anxiously awaited letter arrived today? Yes, there it is, addressed to Brad and Greg. Dear boys, we are pleased to inform you that arrangements have been made for you to take a tour of the Hormel plant. The Rugg dairy herd of fine Holstein cows watch as Dad and the boys load up for the trip to the plant. A new awareness of meat processing is gained from the plant tours. They are exciting and educational, as you will see. Across the Red Cedar River, the Ruggs see this view. This is Hormel. The original plant of Hormel began on this site in 1891, and today is the largest of 9 company slaughtering operations. Tours are available at the Austin, Fort Dodge, Iowa, and Fremont, Nebraska locations. As the Rugg family registers, Hormel guide Tony Corina arrives to show them through the plant. Hormel has 15 processing plants, 6 distribution centers, and licensing arrangements for the manufacture of special products in Canada, Ireland, England, and Venezuela. One of the initial sites on tour is the old engine first used by George A. Hormel in 1892. A display of popular Hormel products. More than 750 different items are produced here, some of which are Spam, Cure 81 ham, Hormel chili, Dinty Moore beef stew, Range brand bacon, and dry sausage. From balconies, you can look across entire rooms of assembly, or rather, disassembly activity. The Rugg boys watch as hog carcasses are broken down into primal cuts. After chilling, the carcass passes over a firmly anchored knife which separates the two sides. This is the first step in the disassembly of the pork side. This large saw wheel then cuts the shoulder from the side. So much automation enters the industrial picture today that it is not surprising to see the start of meat processing begin in this fashion. Let's watch the development of the ham, one of the first meat cuts to receive attention. Painstaking care is given to ensure uniform removal of skin and fat. A close inspection of the ham follows. The hams slide down a chute to the floor below, where they are fed onto the automatic scaling line. Each bin holds a given weight ham. The pans are individual scales that automatically drop the weighed ham into the correct bin. Skillfully removing the bone of hams before processing the famous Hormel Cure 81 ham, canned ham, cooked ham, or ingredient meat for Spam. Very choice hams are saved for the production of the Cure 81s. Precise trimming of external and internal fat takes place. Smoking of the Cure 81 hams is also done with care. Appealing color and unmatched flavor is developed in the smoking process. Here's what the finished product looks like inside, the real test of quality. Back to the pork cut, the story of bacon. First, spare ribs are removed. Bacon comes from the side meat next to the ribs. In meat processing, we strive to make good use of everything. Side skins, for example, are sold for leather. The initial step is the removal of the skin from the bacon side. The skins are dropped to the fleshing machine, which in turn takes off all excess fat. The bacon sides are mechanically trimmed as they move along the production line. Skilled craftsmen at this point trim bacon sides to proper size and shape. The meat trimmings are saved for other products. Once again, automation. Here we see a curing solution being injected by needles into the bacon sides. Nothing in bacon processing is more eye-appealing or mouth-watering than a view of bacon as it emerges from the stainless steel smoke chambers. A beautiful sight, isn't it? After it comes out of the smokehouse, the bacon is chilled and then formed into just the right shape so that the slices come out nice and even, the way you see them in your store. A high-speed circular knife cleanly slices the bacon to uniform thickness, about 20 slices per second. After exact portions of bacon slices are hand-scaled, a special saran wrap machine vacuum seals the packages for longer keeping and better appearance. Hormel bacon stays fresh longer when saran wrapped. The attractive packages are now ready to appear in retail counters across the country for selection by discriminating consumers. Another phase of the disassembly process is the separation of the shoulder and front feet from the carcass. Hormel pig's feet are delicacy items. The front feet from all the pigs Hormel buys are used in the manufacture of this product. Pickled pig's feet are very tasty and attractively packaged, too. The shoulders supply the skins used in the production of gelatin. The skins are fed into a grinder and are shown emerging here. A series of cooking, filtering, and chilling operations occur before the gelatin is extruded onto a conveyor belt in this spaghetti-like form. A moving arm now spreads the gelatin evenly on another belt conveyor. This mattress of gelatin will travel through 2 dryers. The dried gelatin is now broken down into small particles and conveyed by auger to a grinder for final granulation. finished product is weighed and packaged in bulk containers. Many hours are spent in research laboratories at Hormel in an effort to discover new food formulas. Gelatin is one of the many Hormel products that has been constantly researched and tested. Hormel gelatin is sold to candy and other food manufacturers for, among other things, colorful and wholesome desserts. Pork shoulder and ham meat are taken from this picnic boning line and used for the manufacture of Spam, the most popular luncheon meat in the country. The picnic and ham meat is first ground through a medium coarse plate. A lab technician then takes a sample of the Spam mixture for a lean percentage test. The meat is carefully tamped. And the canister is sealed. The dials are standardized and the sample is placed in the electronic anal ray unit for analysis. Within seconds, this machine accurately reads the lean percentage of the sample. The results are recorded by the lab technician and adjustments, if necessary, are made. Mixer blades stir ground Spam meat under vacuum and refrigeration until it becomes thoroughly blended. The raw material is then pumped to the can filling machines where the tins are automatically filled and vacuum sealed. The cans are then fed to the massive 65-foot hydrostatic cooking tower. This huge unit is equipped with a conveyorized chain of trays that carry the cans through processing cycles of cooking, chilling, sterilizing, and drying. When fully loaded, this towering structure can hold 38,500 12-ounce cans. Well over 350 Spam cans per minute are discharged from this cooker, the only one in the United States capable of handling oblong tins. The conveyor lines leaving the cooker carry the cans directly to automated equipment for orderly assembly and packaging. Formation and packing of Spam boxes is an impressive sight in itself. The box is first formed, the bottom is closed, and the empty carton is positioned for filling. The case is sealed and the product moves by elevator to the storage cooler. Another area of the Hormel plant to be visited, the Rugg family is directed to beef operations. A modern on-the-rail dressing system moves the cattle to the mechanical skinner. Two long arms move outward and are affixed to the beef hide. This operation pulls the hide away from the rib area without scoring it or chipping into the meat. The remainder of the hide removal process is accomplished with a motorized chain that is fastened to the hide and which pulls the hide from the animal in a clean and efficient manner. The hides are then dropped to the hide cellar. At the fleshing machine, all residue of fat and impurities are removed. Next, the hides are stretched out on a table for final trimming. Salt, a valued preservative, is then added to make certain that the hides can be shipped to distant tanneries without spoilage. The hides are folded, tied, and are now ready for shipment. The beef coolers at the Austin plant have a holding capacity of well over 2 million pounds of choice beef. Almost all Hormel beef is sold to retail and wholesale markets as quarters or sides. The Hormel Institutional Department selects top quality meat from the beef coolers for filling the special orders received from hotels and restaurants, hospitals, colleges, and universities. The dining rooms of these food service institutions have precise requirements as to size, shape, weight, and quality of their meat cuts. It takes special care at Hormel to meet these very rigid specifications. Here you see choice boneless New York cut steaks being individually wrapped for a customer intent on serving the finest quality meats. A rapid freezing of the meat aids in retaining all the natural juices. Choice tenderloin steaks, boneless top sirloins, and New York cut steaks. Ah, there's plenty of good eating on this table. These steaks are shown in portions ready for the broiler or grill. Now you see the end result of controlled, scientifically aged beef. Imagine yourself enjoying this meat.
All right. I didn't realize this was the half-hour one. I thought this was the 12-minute one. Sorry, I let it run a little longer. I'm back. I got everything we should need. I'll save the rest of this in case there's another chunk where we need a gap later, but hope you guys have been enjoying it. Let's see. We'll pause it here, and we will get right back to it. Here we go. Let's see. Shouldn't hear that other one anymore. All right, there we go. So just going to have a quick snack before I jump into some cataloging. We got probably another 15 or so boxes total. Hoping to get through 4 or 5 today. The dreaded accessory packet collection has been put off for long enough. We're going to dive into that. We're going to get that taken care of. There's still some major piles of things that have to get gone or have to be, reviewed at some point and added to the collection that are just going to take a really long time because they're booklets and pamphlets and leaflets, and there's hundreds of them. So for right now, I'm going to jump into a pack of, let's see, 501813. So I've probably said this before, uncertain, roughly 1992-ish crackers. So we're going to have some 1992 crackers, and we're going to have some French pork liver pate sent in by JW Speaker MRE Info. So thank you for that. Just going to try and power the brain for a little bit, not have a loopy stream. And it's been a little while since I had some pate, so here we go. A little easier to open that package than it was the than it was the survival ration earlier, huh? Just when you're not terrified of losing the bits and you want to keep it, you just pull. You just give it a pull. So let's see what I missed chat-wise. Hey Ronald, welcome to the show. Good to have you here this week. Oh, we got somebody over on Twitch saying howdy. Swiss_R. New to Twitch for the museum, so spread the word. Throw a follow our way. Just brand new there, trying to dual stream to here and YouTube. Eventually, I'll probably have to put the comments on the screen for both. Just one thing at a time. But for right now, let's enjoy some crackers and some pate. See, now these weren't in that era where the scoring really meant you could actually break on the lines. We talked about that when we had that 1986 ration not too long ago. But here we go. We've got some French imported pate. a 30-year-old cracker. There we go. You know, I like these old crackers. I got a whole case of them at one point. I should eventually just get more modern crackers so that I'm not, you know, eating from the finite supply of these things every time I just need anything to put something on. But, you know, it also adds a little authenticity to this. It's a ration show. At least this part of the snack is a ration. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. This country needs more pate. More ground liver, you know, pureed liver. We have Braunschweiger over here. Kind of a Pennsylvania Dutch thing. Oscar Mayer makes it too. Just spreadable ham, pretty much, but is what they refer to it as. But it's pork liver pate, so it's not spreadable ham. Ham is different cut. But there's all kinds of pate out there, not just pork. And you know, I wish they were a little more accessible. But thankfully, we do have good pork pate. Just look for it under the name Braunschweiger. Hey, Dubsy. Bust stop saying doesn't need to know how his hamburger's made. Well, that was that whole video. You know, that was the point. Got to get close to the source of production. All right, just a little more, and then we'll dive into some cataloging. For closer to the end of the stream, we've got a 2007 16th day menu 9 beef stew that we're going to take a stroll through and enjoy. But right now, just going to have a bit of pate for lunch, and then we'll get to the cataloging. I didn't notice any dark spots, but I am noticing the bottom of the can is a little dark. This is new. This is fresh. I'm not worried. But sometimes, right around where this seals, you might notice some black spots. Darker is fine. Black, I would just go ahead and out of abundance of caution, you know, remove. But I didn't see any of that when we opened this up. That's the Spirit Boardman. He's going to go grab some Hormel pepperoni and some root beer. For anybody who missed the clip, we were just watching this is Hormel 1965. Just walk through their plant in, oh, now I'm going to say it wrong. Was it Minnesota or Wisconsin? One of those two. And yesterday was the 129th birthday of J.C. Hormel, the son of George Hormel and the father of Spam. So, and former military, U.S. military, in the 351st Unit Battalion Infantry, 351st Infantry, 88th Division, serving in Tours, France in World War I as the chief quartermaster of that unit. Now, the wartime spam label, they just printed in a single color. They didn't use the normal full color labeling, and they printed it on a different kind of paper stock. But the military version was just stark white, basically said pork, lunch, and meat. That's it. So even more bare and basic than what you'd see in the home front. Gonna save that other pack. And I'm just gonna finish this can and then we'll dive into some cataloging. So if anybody has an opinion or preference, we've got some ration combat individuals to catalog and get in here. 5 of those from 1955. We've got the ration small detachment, 5 persons. These are all things we've seen before, but we're going to lay each piece out, take more pictures, just so there's a record with any specific marks or makers or anything very clear, so that when we're going through the catalog and someone needs to know something about an item, we can jump to those. We've got the accessory packet collection of dreading a little bit. We've got some civil defense stuff. The Nuclear Civil Protection Plan for the state of Kentucky as of the early 1980s is one of those. Kind of a film on the bottom of this. I won't die. Oh, hey Dave, welcome to the chat. And hey, Amelie, I'm gonna go with that until you change it. So, unless you don't change it, in which case I'll keep calling you Amelie. But good to have you guys with us. Just finishing up a can of pork liver pate and getting ready to jump into some cataloging. We watched a film about the Hormel Meat Company in honor of John C. Hormel's 129th birthday yesterday. Or JC, J-A-Y. And we started out with a mail call where we looked at some Life Raft rations and opened one up. And potentially toward the Cormally got it. Toward the end of the episode, we might go back and open up that Survival Tropical can and take a look at the contents of that as well. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. We've got totally normal looking. Then on the bottom, there's this very dark patch. I'm going to go ahead and remove this dark patch. Oh, it comes off just like the skin. Interesting. Wonder what that is. It's not across the whole bottom of the can. Just a little patch. Almost like a little dot of something hit the bottom of the can first. Again, it's not going to kill me. It looks fine. There's no swelling. There's no strange taste. I've already eaten a bit of it. I'm going to go ahead and assume we're good. I do need like a flashing disclaimer or something at some point, though. Warning, this man's an idiot. Don't take any of his food advice. All right. Get the tray cleaned up and ready for a meal later, and let's get to work. So, anybody have anything jump out at them from that list I was rattling off earlier? RCIs, small detachment, accessory packets. what are we in the mood to see first? Separate you from power because we're going to need the power for the camera. Alright, gonna have to switch profiles, which may crash this camera. Let's see. Got a little finicky out in the dust. Seems okay. He says moments before disaster. Okay, seems all right. Corned beef. Corned beef is pretty good. Not quite spreadable. All right, so we got one vote. Thank you, Fordman. We're going right to the small detachment stuff first. I'm just going to get some quick pictures of everything here. These aren't... Do you want me to do the spreadsheet? Oh, man, that'd be awesome, Corey. If you want to jump in. I've got my spare machine for it, but it's always better if that's going on the side, because then we can just keep powering through. Master database. Okay. We're going on to item 528 in the collection catalog. In the catalog, there's definitely still quite a few left in the collection overall, and we're going to dive in on Rations. Small detachment, 5 persons, as box 57. Let me grab a pen. And then I'm going to need something like manila envelopes or something when I get down to the sundries items. Because right now they're all just in a big box. But that's not a way to store them. I'm going to need to be able to individually pull them. So, I don't know. Got some thinking to do on that. Let's get this as free of rust and bits as we can to start. Alright, got this. If the power starts to run down there, should be alright though. Okay. So the box we've already photographed. Now we're just going to move on to the contents. I'm using paper to keep this stabilized. This is one of the inner boxes that was damaged by leaking fruit before I owned all this. So we can call this item inner box. And I guess everything can be prefaced in this, Corey, with just SD5P dash, so like SD5P dash inner box. Main thing here is I want to get maker's marks, dates, anything like that, so that the idea would be, you know, we need to retrieve things from the collection as little as possible because we're relying on pictures for the things that we can, in terms of just like, oh hey, was there a little mark on the bottom of such and such, or do you know who was the manufacturer on that piece? You know, instead of going and getting the box and getting it out and looking through it, we'll be able to just refer to these. There was a lot of crumbly cardboard, and that's exactly why. See, I mean, every time we handle it, little tiny bits flake off. You know, it's not something it's great for it long term to just keep coming in and out of storage. Right. So let's do item number 2. Actually, we'll just get this out of the way. We've got in this one P38. Got 2 cans of white bread. See if I can get this camera any closer in here. This is the bad one. It's got dense rust holes, etc. And then this is the nearly perfect one. The Kroger company. I mean, they're both Kroger company, but this one didn't have fruit directly above it. Both got their key. This one's got a minor dent, but, well, I mean, I guess it's still a major dent, but not as bad as the other one. This is something that tempts me to no end on a regular basis, knowing how good these cookies are. When you ever get a chance to actually have any of these, oh, good God. But, I mean, if you're a weirdo like me and you really, really like the idea of a perfectly preserved, you know, nearly 100-year-old Oreo. So this is sandwich cookies, chocolate. Well, chocolate filling, so opposite Oreos on this set. This is a can of M&Ms, whole can of M&Ms. There's unfortunately Actually, is this the M&M can? No, this is not the M&M can. That's down here. So let's jump to that. I'll bring this back out in a second. So this is a can of M&Ms. Let's see if we can get any visibility on what this says there. So I think you could see part of the word chocolate. What this says all the way up at the top, in a way that's pretty much going to be unviewable, is Panko underneath chocolate. Duh. So this is definitely a can that said pan-coated chocolate discs. So pan-coated chocolate discs are the, it's the military's fun way of saying M&Ms. This is 9.5 ounces net weight, and unfortunately has a big hole in the side, rusted through, eaten through. Smells like chocolate. There may be an inner bag, or it may have just been all in a heap. May open this at some point to preserve the rest of the can and to see what's in here, but that's an exciting one in general. He says in almost monotone, so this is packed. Looks like it says Lrp brands, LEA, and potentially another character of Chicago, Illinois. I'm just getting some really, really close pictures to try and make the writing legible. Because this is one where in another couple years, I would have had no chance of figuring out from the label what was in there. Miss shopping at Ruler Foods. It's a Kroger-owned chain, Ruler Foods. For those of you who might not know, my online nickname for almost 25 years is Ruler Yak. So Ruler anything, I'll get behind. So this one, this is a mystery can. Very, very much gone in terms of the actual writing on it. There's tiniest fragments. You know, if we had like something like infrared or something, maybe we could pull, an image from below some of this. But, it doesn't, it's never been something that jumped out. It's hard inside in one block. It's not the same size as the can of cookies. Whereas, like, this is not, it has no shake and give of any kind. It's absorbed, it's broken into the whole space. This could have been meat, could have been crackers, not sure. But it's a dense kind of single unit in there moving from what it sounds like. Oh, I didn't take pictures of it, did I? Nope. All right, next item in this is item 8. So item 7 is unknown contents can. Let's see, item 8. James had to switch to vegan cheese and milk. Ooh, I'm sorry, man. That's doesn't sound fun at all. I mean, at least it's 2021 and stuff's getting better in terms of like fake meat, fake cheese, all that stuff. When I was a vegetarian for 7 years-ish back in the day, there were fewer options, but it was already getting pretty good for fake meat. I just look back on, folks 20 years before me, and what did you eat? Well, I guess you don't become a vegetarian to eat fake meat all the time, but it helps make it easier. All right, so this is item 9. This is dry cream product. It's definitely, there's no greasiness to it, but it's definitely rusted quite a bit. A lot of this stuff, when I opened it up, was in pretty rough shape. Somebody had preserved it for a while and had removed most of the contents, so what we have is still a fraction of what the overall ration would have had in it, but trying to make sure that what's left stays in good shape. So this is, let's see, here we go. This is a dry cream product for coffee or tea by the Sana Dairies, Incorporated of Madison, Wisconsin. So this is just a great big can of dairy creamer, not non-dairy creamer, dairy creamer, powdered dairy creamer. So then we've got towels, just, long paper towels, quite a few of them. These are your daily napkins. This was a big package of, I want to say there's just 5 more cloth-like towels in there that you're supposed to use one for the whole day. That over here. All right. We have a sack with 5 packs of matches, 5 packs of cigarettes and 5 packs of matches in there. So, still an unknown what these 5 packs are. There's 6 blocks in here. 5 of them are 20-pack cigarette packages, and then the 6th is a stack of matchbooks, one for each man. They could trade their cigarettes between them, so it generally wasn't going to be 5 of the same type. These by themselves are holy grail items that tend to get these rations busted up, without much regard for the rest of their contents, unfortunately, especially in the early days of trying to find old cigarettes. Haven't decided if we'll ever open this one up. For now, it's never seen the light of day. And I'm really glad that a lot of these items that were, the manila paper, survived the way they did. Speak of the devil, this does not. This is about the same as when I got it. Okay, no, there's no dampness to it. So this has some staining. This is cocoa and toilet paper. So there'd be 5 servings of cocoa in here. The cocoa beverage powder packs, probably the manila kind, with a foil lining, folded up, and your day's toilet paper ration. So I'm just going to get some pictures of that. There. All right, next one we've got salt sugar chewing gum. So some damage here, which is funny because it shows something really neat. So these were plastic lined bags. You can see from the kind of crunched exterior paper there, it exposes that plastic layer, and there's foil up top too. So this, you can see the inside layer was the foil, that's broken away. The outside layer is paper. So this was a tri-laminate bag in the 1950s. Really exciting stuff in terms of pushing forward food safety and food storage tech. And thanks to that bag, the inside's probably just fine regardless of what spilled all over the outside. Natural Storage Company of Cold Spur, Kansas was the maker of the paper bags, at least. Last but not least, oh, nope, next to last. Next to last, we've got 5 jelly bars. These have been found in all kinds of rations over the years, bailout rations and RCIs, MCIs. These, I think, have even made their way into LRPs. They're just like a brick of chewy, gummy jelly candy in a couple different colors. So this pack by itself weighs more than a pound. Yeah, definitely more than a pound. They're an alternative to the charms in some of the survival rations, though I'd assume they have some temperature limitations. No maker's marks on this package. Hey Smokey, welcome to the stream. Let's see, Smokey saying, what's up y'all? Reminder didn't work. Assumed it started at 5. Must have been 3. Yeah, no worries. No worries. Glad you're here. When is your stream starting after this? Are you going right on at 7? Because I'll try and make sure I hit a tight end there. And Kaylin still hasn't gotten her paws on an LRP at all? Well, we got to fix that at some point. I'm keeping my eye out for new cases of those. They're getting harder to find, I swear. Just regular LRPs. I've only got a few left from the 90s, and I think one case of early 2000s. Not sure, or even just boxes at this point, because I pretty much ate the ones that I'd get without really thinking about them slowly disappearing. They still make LRPs and MCWs, though certainly not in the quantities that they make MREs. And that really does matter when we're trying to find all this stuff, is you got to think, what was the production run, what was the distribution, and what's the likelihood of extras in those processes and things ending up in civilian hands. With MREs, the reserves tend to be a good leak for those, and then the government surplus auctions seem to be another good leak for those in terms of just cycling stock. But with regular MREs, you've got field training exercises happening in the Guard and happening in the reservists all year long, and they don't go through all the rations and tend to just say, take them home. So, with the LRPs, though, they tend not to just dole those out for regular trainings, for specific, higher energy trainings, quite possibly, but not for just like a regular weekend exercise. So, last piece in the small detachment 5 persons is a can of peach jam. It's very light, so it's definitely been exposed to the air and dried out quite a bit. Doesn't seem to be in bad shape, though. Wake up, camera. Uh-oh. We'll see. Might have crashed my phone. Nope, there it goes. Until I get something better, this phone, my latest, is highest resolution, highest image quality, best on-the-fly image fixing and that kind of stuff. So it's nice that this kind of gear is available to us these days. It's leaps and bounds ahead of what I was using even just a couple years ago. That was a dedicated photography camera for that kind of thing. So let's see, we'll get these all separately wrapped Just want to make sure that nothing's touching anything else if at all possible, especially when there's any level of stain or leak or anything on the outside. And don't want anything pressing up against the cardboard outside of the box. It doesn't need to be. Got that stuff. It's an SA. That would probably be an Arctic survival ration. Oh yeah. Oscar's saying that too. Yeah, like a FP SA or an FPST are those early canned oval rations we were looking at. There's food packet survival, tropical food packet survival, Arctic, and quite a few varieties of those. I think we've got 2 or 3 of each covered right now. Put this box. The box was in last. Orange jelly, sugar. Safety layer. Cigarettes. All right, we got that one buttoned up. So we're going to call this box 57. Okay. Let's see, what next? 16 people, 17 likes. Oh, hey, thanks, guys. That's awesome. You guys are the best. Hey, Ben, welcome to the stream. We are, oh, God, Meal Kit Supply is asking $180 for a box of 12 MREs. That's reasonable. That sounds like a good deal. You guys should all jump on that. There's a couple guys on Amazon right now that are selling cases of First Strike rations for about $125 a case. That's a good deal in my eyes because there's 27 meals in one of those. It's 9 rations that are each 3-meal full day rations that actually well exceed a full day's calorie intake by quite a bit. Now they don't exceed what 3 MREs combined would be, but not by much. It's just a little off. So those are a good find. I would throw First Strike Ration in Amazon if you're looking to pick up some rations right now. 27 meals, ends up at that point at about $4 or $5 per meal, which is pretty hard to come by these days for rations. And the other side is the FSRs are just a box of snacks or a bag of snacks. It's just shelf-stable sandwiches, meat sticks, cheese sticks, packs and packs of crackers, pretzels, trail mix, all that kind of stuff. Couple powdered drinks, sometimes protein shakes. I mean, there's some good stuff in there. Really like FSRs. I took 3 FSRs to the Renegade burn that I just got back from, and shared pieces of those with folks. And it was just really nice to, when you didn't want to do anything else, just pull out a honey barbecue, chicken sandwich and just have it ready to go right there. Starting to get hungry, so I think somewhere around 6:15 we'll probably stop and start eating. So let's get another hour of photos shot here. Let's see. Foreman's going to try watching the stream on the iPhone. Now, it works, depending on your connection. Generally, that's how I have to catch Smokey's stream is on a phone, because I'm always at my game night on Saturdays. But for those who didn't catch the message, Smokey is going to be on after this tonight. I'm not sure if he said exactly what time in here. Smokey says he's bidding on the Canadian food packet lot that I won. I don't think I won any Canadian stuff recently. Or do you mean, oh, it was from somebody in Canada? Was that it? Oh, I threw that away already. I don't know. I think that was a U.S. post. But that was like all the life raft stuff. The Desalter, the sea dye, and the shark repellent. So yeah, that was a great find. We do need to talk though before we bid on big stuff, if we're gonna potentially step on each other's toes. That was just the fact that I had one that was coming that I wasn't gonna open, and one that was coming that was potentially dented that I was planning to open at the same time, and then got all that extra stuff. It was just nice. That was a good bonus. But yeah, maybe that other one was what you were talking about. Let's see. Did you say when you were going to be going on? No. Okay. So just let us know. Are you jumping on right as soon as this is over? In which case, oh, immediately. Okay, immediately. Then make sure to get a link in here. I'll keep this up, another minute or two after you start, just so you can pass me the link and we can put it in here. And, I don't know. There's no rating, in YouTube like there is in Twitch. So at least not that I'm aware of how to use, or else we would just jump on over there. I do really like that feature in Twitch where, your stream's ending and you want to take your viewers with you somewhere. I think it's a neat feature. All right, so we've got the accessory packet collection or some RCIs next. Fordman's usually the one that jumps on and says what we're doing. So let's see. What are we up to next? We got 5 seconds, and then I'm making a decision. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're doing accessory packets. Why would you do that to me, Sean? Oh, just, there's so many things in this box. Everybody's going to have to look at like 100 things. Nobody comes to this stream to look at things, do they? Do they? Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's part of the point, isn't it? All right, so I feel like I should almost get another box to transfer into, but this one doesn't really work that way. So I'm going to start with this lid. Don't need this laptop for a minute. All right, so there's a lot in here. I'm going to start with group ration dining packets. Which I have a pile of. There's some neat accessory packets in here. I hope you guys are ready for some fun ones. These aren't in the best shape. See a couple that have opened a little bit. But we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 8 of these. So, Corey is still with me? No, Wes, I don't know your pick. You're gonna pick something random that I didn't say we were gonna look at. Oh no, Corey wanted the RCI just because it's gonna be a while for all this. Okay. Too late. Sorry about that. Here we go. These packets are made by Georgia Industries for the Blind. So we've now seen the Chicago Association for the Blind, the Oklahoma Association for the Blind, and now Georgia Industries for the Blind in doing packing for the U.S. military, which I'm sure we're not covering all of the organizations under that umbrella, and it'd be interesting to do so. So we can just say times 8 on this item. We don't have to put 8 different rows in there. And I'm going to keep these as one bagged item here. Some just fell down somewhere. All right, let's see. We got accessory packet cans. 2 of these. Let's see if we can find any dating on these to go along. This is 1951. So is this. Okay, so we have a June of 1951 and an April of 1951. We'll start with the April, which this one has that kind of dappled, stippled, whatever. Tiny little, actually you can't really tell in this paint. Looks like that style, but it's not as stretched with like obvious little pulls in it for some reason. Like something that happened while drying out. But this is a really clear top label. And the letters kind of jump out at you. They almost have like just the slightest outline. So yeah, this one, you can see the stamp up there. We got 4 of 51. Underneath it says I think it says AUL3, but it's the April 51 that we are concerned about there. This style had a key on the bottom, even though there's a can opener inside, which is funny. Your rations wanted you to use a can opener, but to get to the can opener, you had to use the key on another can. So this style was in a generation of the RCIs. I believe it was in other rations at the time, too. I unfortunately have never picked up an RCI case that had these. I've only ever had the paper accessory packets. One set of which was in okay shape. The other set was completely destroyed. Oh, the sweet and sour ration. Yeah. I haven't had one of those in a long time. Remember when I had that whole like box of just LRP entrees? You know, it was like 60 of them. It seemed like I'd never burned through all those, and it's been better part of a decade since I had all of the sweet and sour rations, sweet and sour pork rations, the Oriental style chicken and vegetables. I mean, just Army Chinese food. Definitely up there in my favorites. All right, so 2 accessory packet cans. Now we're going to move into kind of a mess. I'm not even sure how to do these. I mean, we just have a lot of miscellaneous ones that we'll look through in a second. And then we have some very specific ones underneath. That I tend to want to be more careful with. We have a cardboard separation layer on top of these to cover some of the rare styles. What is this random pack of Pall Malls doing here? This might have been from that abandoned ship ration. We've got some opened Vietnam era with cigarettes still in them as examples, I guess. All right, so let's see. Let's see what we've got up here. We'll get one of each at least. Let's see this. OB. Probably going to have a lot of that kind. 1141B. This is a Pack C. This is a Pack C. I must have just been tossing some of these in there. This is a delaminating Pack A. So these, you can see like the outer plastic layer. It's just completely coming off there. Now they look shiny and nice underneath, but the problem is going to be with these that I'm not going to be able to date them offhand. A lot of them are pretty, pretty standout. Like that's an MCI style, and these didn't last very long. I love this style. I do wish it came back, but we pretty much moved on to this and nothing else at this point. The clear plastic, but this heavy foil pack. Warnick made some of the best packaging over the years. We've got this style from the Ration Cold Weather. Here's a Rafco Freeze Dry. Not sure the year on that. Let's see what are these. No, these are Cinepack, Rafco. May just have to go by the manufacturers. The Type A, Cinepack. These are Sopacco. These are different printing style, but similar enough. All right. There's a Cadillac. That's going to be an MCI or an LRP. There's another faceless. Sopacco. This one has writing, this one does not. All right, almost have these separated enough. This has just a really interesting color compared to the rest of them. It's like halfway between brown and foil. Really, really legible. Just a shame that whatever color this is likely unintentional or the result of light exposure or something. This one was made by the DMP Corporation in Mobile, Alabama, so it could also be that they just did it differently, but very, very readable. Side by side, you should be able to see a pretty stark difference in color. And I'm glad I have that, because that is really the only one that I see in here made by DMP. I'm trying to think what that might be. Accessory Kit Pall Malls. They might have come out of one of the accessory kits. I've got an open canned accessory kit somewhere. Might be in the box of stuff Steve reviewed, because I try and keep that separate. That might be what I'm thinking. And that might go with that. I'm not sure, but there are a couple places where that could have come from. I'll hold on to it for now. I have a whole nother box for smoking paraphernalia, so I'll keep that there for right now, but that may need to move over to the smoking box. All right, and then we've got these long pack just one of those. And these short, basic. We got one with coffee, probably one of those sugar-free beverages. Yeah, sugar-free lemonade, cider. All right. What are we thinking? We think do these as groups. Yeah, let's do these as groups. CEB. And then we'll have to match up the years and styles after the fact. You know, still be better to have a record that they were here, that they got photographed, etc. All right. These all look like Warnick, but can't tell anymore. All right, all right, all right. And then this one's just a nice little squat one in the middle, square, but looks like the others from early 90s, mid 90s. MCI style, MCI style. Okay. So we'll jump into these all have some not. These. Okay. Accessory pack can, accessory pack can. All right, we'll jump into the weird one, DMP Corp. Accessory packet, MCI style, DMP Corp. Okay. Then we'll do square, so Packco. Okay, these are all gonna be almost impossible to photograph. We're putting this off. It's just time to get it done. Oh, there you are. Next one was going to be was it? No, square MRE square. Sorry, Corey. I figured I'd type a couple, maybe you get what I'm going for. Put the corporation or the company in parentheses at the end, and whatever style jumps out. Let's see. So we got early MRE style Rcw freeze dry. Then we at least have some idea what to, what's in this box and what we have covered and not. Like, oh, hey, do you have any, accessory packets manufactured by Dry Tech or something? It's like, no, we don't. And we know we don't. Now we know we didn't. All right, so these are going to be, okay, so this is MCI style Cadillac. And there is no good place to photograph one of these in here that isn't going to be very reflective. Just going to do my best. Just be nice if we can stay vertical for just a minute. We'll see. Main thing is getting these manufacturers. Cadillac products of Sterling Heights. So let's see, were there more than one of those? I think that's it. Yeah, just the one Cadillac. Oh, wait a second. For the DMP, we can put ×2. There was a second one. So that first one, DMP Corp, we'll just put ×2. All right, so we've got a bunch of these that say Cinepack. Excuse me. So I'm going to put up Cinepack ones together. Cinepack is, or sorry, in this case it's Cinpack. So it's just CINPAC, the Cincinnati Packing Company. These are early MRE style Cinpack ×2. So these are in between style, I would say. Shame they're all delaminating so badly. Well, let's say interim style. Interim style Silpack Co. ×3. Let's see if I can get any text on these below the lamination issues. So these just say accessory packet. They don't say an A, B, C. They don't say contents. So the next one is also Silpack, but early MRE style, because this one has an A and it has contents. here and get maker's mark stuff. The backs of these are blank. All right, and then last set of these are Sin Pack. Did we already do something this style? Let's see, where was the Sin Packs that we just did? We did, these are the same style. So let's change that Sin Pack ×2 from earlier to a Sin Pack ×4. I'm just going to add these to that section. Don't need to take separate pictures of them for now. Thank you, Corey. I see all kinds of text changing. We're down to the easy part. Oh, wait, no, we're not. Almost. Let's see, we'll do a SoPackCo Rcw Ration Pack, Accessory Packet. This is RCW style SoPackCo. Easy to photograph, nice and clear. Lots of stuff in these too. You had the coffee, the cream, the sugar, the chewing gum, matches, toilet paper, closure device, and you had your Tootsie Rolls in here, your toffee roll candy. Then we're on to the tan bag Warnick. These have that same style, like heavy material that those hamburgers that hamburger buns that I have in the collection, that those did. That I just really like the feel of the package. You know, it's got that like bendable resistance to it. See, it's 5:30. We got another 45 minutes. I think we can keep cataloging. So we can finish this box, and then the accessory packet nightmare is over. We've got some food packet in-flight individual, both by Cadillac Products of Sterling Heights. So let's put those two out together. Let's see if there's a way that these can get photographed. Just realized everything I've been putting up back there, you probably haven't seen it all, so sorry. These are heavy, heavy foil, so they're in good shape. There's a hole up there, looks like. These both have interdental stimulators, so they're the crush up and clean your teeth little super toothpicks. So yeah, we'll move on to set 13. This is food packet survival, or wait, no, food packet in-flight individual. And so we can say in-flight style Cadillac products ×2. And they're the same front and back, just a repeating piece of material stamped together. The repeat on this is sideways. Interesting. But you can tell these were from different runs just because the wider band is in a different spot. So, yeah, instead of a lot where the text just continues vertically and it's a tube already and you're just clamping and sealing, these were two sheets laid together, contents, you know, sealed around it. This one, I'm drawing a blank the item that this would be coming in. I want to say either late RCI or early MCI or something from that general era. This is plastic, it's yellow, and it has cigarettes. So this is post-World War II and pre-1974. So, but it's not from a food packet in flight. I think this might be the very last generation RCI or an early MCI. I think early, so Corey's saying early MCI. You're probably right. Thinking the Warnick heavy foil one is from a 1998 LRP. Throw that in a question mark next to it. That sounds about right. So let's get a quick photo of this. We'll call it early MCI. Yellow. No maker's mark on this one, unfortunately. I don't know what this pack of cigarettes is in here, but it's a wide one. So maybe Philip Morris. This has got all of its air. There's a great deal of resistance to it. This has never in any way been punctured, and it's immediately going back in the box. All right, we've got some Lrp accessory packets. These were neat. They were stamped with the menu. So this is a menu 7, this is a menu 8. They had the great big cookies or fudge bars or things to that effect. These both had fudge bars, but you know, you can tell compared to a regular accessory packet. Let's see how thick these things were. Trying to get some good pictures there. So these came with those plastic bag LRPs, the green and brown variety. And these were packed by the Quality Packing Supply Corporation of Rochester, New York. So Quality Packaging Supply. Try and get a workable picture of that text. Backs were blank on these. Those vanilla fudge bars might be good. Probably not. Could be good. All right, we have an opened, mostly partially consumed. What else is in here? Tops mint gum still in there. I'll put this stuff back. Creamer and coffee instant, 2 of them. All right. So a partial paper accessory packet, RCI. Or similar. This is RCI era. You know, and I don't have a ton of knowledge about what accessory packets looked like in some of the things like mountain rations. And here we have a sealed paper accessory packet. This one is nearly white. It's got that purple inner lining that was popular through the end of World War II. And this one's made by Sopacco, but it's really nice, clear, manufacturer's labeling in there. No cigarettes in this. I want to say this one was an early in-flight. And it came along with this set of directions that were in this cardboard. And also with these two spoons in basically gone plastic packaging. Let's see. Thanks, the spoon's packaging fell apart in my hand, so I included an extra one. Let me just see what else it says. Thanks. Okay, so this was an eBay purchase for the accessory packet itself long ago. Don't have a ton of other detail. So there's two of these spoons which were the same in the RCIs and early in-flights. So I'm thinking this might be early in-flight. So let's chalk it up as that for now. We can always change this stuff. And how do you find out if you're right about something on the internet? Well, you post the wrong answer first, and you let everybody fight over it until there's a consensus on what the best answer was. Usually a good shortcut to doing all that research. Just pretend you know the answer first and let everybody tear you apart, and you'll get your info. All right, we can say one Vietnam MCI packet by Cadillac, sealed still on that one. So yeah, I think people have asked how many of these accessory packets I have with with cigarettes and stuff in them. Like none, like pretty much none. Smoked a bunch, traded a bunch, did not end up with a lot. I think this might, as far as this box goes, this is the only sealed Vietnam era one that it looks like I have. I have an open one here as well, but for displaying, I don't need a mountain of them. Very happy with one example of as many things as possible. Hence the trade for the assault ration that I mentioned at the beginning. In my head, it's like that's letting go of a 1969 abandoned aircraft Part 1 and 2 kit. That's hard, but when's the next chance I'm gonna see a food packet assault individual plastic one? I've seen them on Steve's channel. I've seen them, probably that, maybe one other place. I know a couple other people did get them from Oscar, who was in chat earlier. I think Salty Croc ended up with one, so I'm looking forward to seeing an actual review of that. And I think somebody else in the general world of our collector friends picked up another one of those. I'm going to have to see if I can convince anybody that got them to review to be super careful and to send me the empty packaging, because then we could have an open closed, you know, at the same time. It depends though, like what it looks like and stuff. With these assault rations, they were all the vacuum sealed, freeze dried everything, so those should actually, you know, if opened from behind carefully, they could be put back together in a display that looks like they still have all their contents. So, Ben's saying I think they're getting all smoked up. 1962 was the two-part with the drink packet separate from the accessory packet. Oh, I think I missed over a bunch of good conversation about what I've been opening up. Did cigarettes come in B or C rations? Cigarettes, so the C rations for sure. The B rations, the general kitchen service rations, that's going to be dry goods that can be used to make actual meals in the field, in a field kitchen. I don't know, they might have had, as part of like a sundries kit, a large amount of cigarettes to distribute, that sort of thing. The actual food portion of it didn't have cigarettes associated with it. Yeah, and Oscar's keeping one. He ate one, and then yeah, 3 got traded, and yeah, exactly. So you're right. That's the full set. But yeah, those things don't come up very often. I'm glad I got the chance, and you know, thank you for pinging me, or whoever pinged me. Wink. This one doesn't have a maker stamped on it. This is another Vietnam style. This one's open. It's got a pack of Benson and Hedges in there. So these are the long cigarettes, the 100s. Menthol 100s. So this would have been early 1970s. I doubt we'll get any sort of indicator off the rest of this stuff. We got lead pack for the salt, American Sugar Company for the sugar, Coffee Instant from United Instant Coffee Corp, and cream substitute from Sana. Sana being the same company that made the cream, the powdered cream in the small detachment 5 persons that we looked at earlier, so that's neat. All right, just going to put this as complete but open. Unknown manufacturer. Wake up, camera. There we go. So that goes back there. And then I'm just going to say a picture of miscellany, just so I know it's in this box, but this doesn't have to get cataloged. Well, no, we can just say miss. I'll figure that out later. And that's the accessory packet box. That only took 40 minutes. All right, time to put all this stuff carefully back. Cardboard layer, and oh, no, we're not. We're not done. All these ended up at the back somehow. All right, we still have a couple things. Well, we can just say clear accessory packet 5. No maker's marks on any of the packages themselves. All right. And the box is much better organized now. And it is officially box number 58. Look at the patrol ration from Mr. Croc. I haven't looked at it yet. I will have to see if I can get that for you. It might be upstairs now that I think about it. All right, let's see. We got about 25 minutes till I want to open up a ration for dinner. So let's see. We can jump right into those RCIs, I think. Maybe the civil defense stuff we get to today, maybe we don't. So I'm going to do the one that's alone in a box first. We're going to call this box 59. Okay, so this is a medium condition ration combat individual. Make that poor condition. Nah, I don't know, medium. There's quite a few cans missing that had dissolved by the time I did my cleanup. There's still some detritus in here, but overall, it's not completely wrecked. So we've got B units. I think I'm going to try and just photograph in box for these. How is the cardboard meant to be distributed in these? We had bend. Something like that? No, not sure. So this is definitely a seam here, from what I can tell, an intentional bend in this. Otherwise, I would say go straight. We've got nearly none of this can left, but this was salvaged. This was meat and noodles. So yeah, almost nothing left of it, but almost nothing and nothing are different things. So I'll put that there. I'm going to go ahead and just put this across, even if that's not quite right for now. We've got the accessory packet, Remnants. This is one of those that delaminated. It's probably still got quite a bit of bug material inside. Doesn't actually look as bug-ridden as some of the others. The packet itself is presentable. Just going to go ahead and put it like that. And we've got a spoon. Still got some dirt and bits. Gotta put that down. in general, this was the one that had a moth colony that had gone through, you know, in numerous generations living inside a sealed case of rations. Something that, in retrospect, I wish I had saved a couple of them, you know, as examples in case anybody wanted to study any of that. There's bits and pieces still here and there in terms of like wing fragments and stuff, and I'm sure there are some dead ones that could be found, but there were still several, you know, dozen of them at least alive, flightless, blind, you know, 50 generations, 70 generations in, living inside a case of rations. I mean, I'm sure it would have been fascinating to get as much detail out of what happened to them as possible, but I mainly just wanted to get the rations clean. This was a decade ago or so almost. So this one has its B units, the remnants of an entree can, an accessory packet, and disposal. So not a ton. It is from 1955. All right, we're going to go into box, well, yeah, we're going to go into box 59, I mean 60, box 60. That last one was by itself, just because it didn't quite fit, I mean not quite, it didn't fit in with these others, and it didn't seem too sensical to break them up even further. Alright, so this is box 60. You can see bug damage right on through the top. Not too much in terms of exterior damage on this one, but the inside looking pretty rough, but also, you know, pretty complete comparatively. So we've got 2 B unit cans, which tend to be the theme with these. The B units do survive, if not directly against something that's causing a lot of rot to go through them. These are where I've had the sandwich cookies from long ago, I want to say, is from some RCI era B units. A big chunk of the back of the box missing. And we've got another salvaged partial can. This one in better shape than the last, but not by any means good shape. So this says ham and potatoes with gravy. The manufacturer here is Illinois something. Illinois manufacturing, potentially. There is additionally a can. See, it has orange peel, lemon peel, raisins, pecans. So we got a fruit cake here. The name is gone, but raisins, pecans, lemons, oranges. Yeah, we got a fruit cake. Eggs and flour. So, not sure how we want to label these other than RCI 1, 2, etc. Let me get the top seal first, I forgot. I'm sure there's some really nice ones out there in the world. I have a perfect RCI box, just one, you know, one of these meal boxes that was empty, that you know, no cans with that or anything. But one of these days, I'd love to see one of these open up on, like someone had eaten it and kept the cans in the 50s or in the 60s, and there's no rust, no damage, no anything. But, you know, one can dream, right? So we'll package that back up. Living in Vita Broca. That sounds hilariously terrible. Fun name for a bad situation. So we've got these stuck together packs that the can openers had fallen out of. They've rusted pretty bad. So this one says US speaker. Funny enough. They're packed by Cool Air, not by JW Speaker. Oh, I hope I spoke too soon. So in the same package, we have, because these went together and you can see they overlap, we have, you know, the back of one and the front of another. We have Cool Air, and in the middle, JW Speaker. You can see the end of Corp and 22934. And then down here we have another JW Speaker Corp, 22934. So St. Paul and Milwaukee. So the speaker rusted on the hinge, and the Cool Air, there's a Cool Air. Cool Air rusted on the bottom, but the hinge, well, the hinge took some rust. I'm going to leave these closed rather than fight with them right now. But just neat that in this little cluster of can openers, we had two different manufacturers. So this one was right there, the Cool Air one, the JW Speaker one was in one of the bottom two. And there was another one that either wandered off, you know, must have wandered off, or it could be further down in the box, but just going to photograph them as a pile, and then each of the can openers probably should also take care of all this rust. Certainly not doing any glamour shots on this this cloth ever again, but for right now, we just want even lighting, decent pictures that we can use as a reference later. Not, you know, anything special, though. I'll admit I've been stealing from these piles and doing pictures on like Instagram and stuff with them. Just with all their editing and filtering, you can actually make something this rough look okay. Well, I see a howdy from Madeline. Hello. Well, and Kelly, howdy to you too. But I see the hi, Uncle Sean. Hello. Hope you're having a great September 12th as I look at dirty old food. All right, so we've got those can openers. Try and get close enough to see manufacturers on those. And then we'll put them back. Okay. Try and scratch something off the screen. I think I started like 10 things there. All right. So we're moving on to the third RCI, second in this box. Try and be quicker with this one. It's already 5 after 6, and it usually takes me about 40 minutes to cook and eat and ramble about an MRE. So, look at this one. Look at this one. I forgot that this is actually there. Look at pretty much exactly what I was saying. Wouldn't it be nice to find one like this someday? Now the box ain't great looking, but here we are. We got a complete, pretty much complete. I'm not certain what's missing from this, but I'm sure something is. But look at this thing. We got super swelled up, terrifying filled hamburger for Frankfurter, beans with Frankfurter chunks and tomato sauce. That's still there. That's still full, and it's very, very much under pressure. We've got empty and dry, rotted out. Yep. Ooh, big hole in the side. Yeah, so this stuff's going to need some restoration. We've got, let's see, round meat and spaghetti with tomato sauce. Round meat. Can't just say meatballs. Can't just say meatballs. It's round meat. It's not. Well, maybe it's eye of round. Maybe it's something like that. But I'm gonna twist that so that it's lined up. Twist this horror from the great beyond. This is a fractional can. This hamburger can. We got another one of these. Looks nice in these boxes, you know, to still have the tops, but the bottoms are gone. We got a B unit. Is this a fruit juice? Oh, it's an applesauce. And the bottom is gone. Probably was a pull top. Just with how insanely clean that is of a cut. Oh no, pineapple, not applesauce. Pineapple. So that's really nice. Can of pineapple. And we've got a B1 unit and a B2 unit. This whole thing was a Booth Fruit Company RCI. So Booth Fruit Company, Booth Fruit Company, Booth Fruit Company on those. We've got General something pack of Omaha. We've got Stokely Van Camp Incorporated of Dallas, Texas, and another Stokely Van Camp here. I think that just says General of Pack, or maybe General of P&C. Not sure. Prepared by the Cuda Packing Company. So, CPC? I'm not sure. But holy heck, look at this thing. This is not in awful shape. We've got one spoon. Now there should be, no, okay, there should be 3 spoons in every one of these. So, I do see at least 2 in here, or there should be 2 or 3. I think it's 3 in each of these because it's meant to be 3 meals. So we see the meals here would have been the spaghetti and meatballs, the hamburger without gravy, and the what do we got here again? Beans. I was like, what is the ANS? Beans with Frankfurter chunks and tomato sauce. We got Robert Sourwine joining. Hey, man, good to have you. You picked a good time. In a couple minutes, I'm going to be starting on a 2007 MRE that you had sent. So I'm going to be eating the beef stew tonight. We got 2 more RCIs to look at, and then we'll stop there. We'll skip this civil defense box. That was a extra if we got to it. Although there aren't many things in here, we'll see. No, we won't. We won't see. We'll do that another time. So just wrap up this RCI box, then I got to go wash my hands, get all the rust and whatnot off of them before I start handling food. All right, 2 more. Here you can see the one where all the can openers were actually pressed into the box itself. There really aren't any that were where the tops of the boxes were in great shape. You know, there's 5. The 6th we restored at my house a good while ago. It was in awful shape. Then again, so are some of these. Let's see. So, oh, I did it again. I didn't take the outside picture first as a reference before I keep going. All right, so let's see. Let's get a slightly better angle on that. Moving forward, there we go. So let's see, we've got B units, of course. We've got both accessory packet pieces, which could mean, yeah, we have the packaging for the cigarette pack here. No cigarettes in it. There's that flaky purple material. We've got corroded strike strips, probably very corroded matches. Oh no, they actually look okay. They have bug material, of course, like everything else. Something in these was edible. Let's see. Superior Match Company of Chicago. I think in this set, all the cigarette packs, I probably have a picture of all of them together somewhere that I'll have to find. I remember them being horrifically discolored and just destroyed, like to the point where just the slightest touch would go all the way through the plastic, the packaging, the cigarettes. They'd been eaten by bugs, that took whatever they possibly could out of them. So here's a fruit cake that's seemingly much better shape than the last one we saw in that first box. So this is August 17th, 1955 fruit cake. We've got our 2B units. This one is bad shape, has opened up from whatever was nearby. And we've got tuna and noodles with vegetables in a remnant can. There was a lot of remnant cans when I did the initial cleanup on this, in the sense of, like, I could get the material out, I could keep whatever semblance of a can I could, and I did. So there's some of those. Then there were ones that were just shredded bits of metal, little strips of stuff at the bottom of these boxes that there was nothing left. There was just nothing at all left. So I'm sure out there are much more complete RCI cases than what I've come across myself. But to put some perspective on this RCI case in total, shipped to me, is going to cost less than the one assault ration that I'm picking up from that guy, Oscar, that joined earlier on. So things have changed over the years. I got extremely lucky with this whole deal. long ago. So can't complain. Definitely a lot of workable pieces in it. You know, and a good example of the variety of stuff that would show up in these things. And what lasts, what doesn't, you know. Fruit juice. Don't put fruit juice in a can in something that you want it to be there in decades. All right, last RCI for right now. Alright, that one in the middle is definitely the winner. This one has all 3 spoons. It's the accessory packet, but no cigarette packet. Looks like it has another can of fruit or juice that's actually still full of fruit. This is pears. Pears. That are existing as little rocks in this can. Alright, so we got, of course, we got both B units, the B1 and the B2. You know, and they're these nondescript, super dark label cracker candy jam, cracker cocoa jam on just about all these. We've got chicken with vegetables and broth. Has not been saved, so there is a, see if we can get an eyeball in there. There's a block rolling around in there that used to be chicken and vegetables and broth. Alright, so let's get some pictures of the remnants of this. Go. And I think we can call that good for photos for today. We got 3 more boxes added to the collection. Wait, 4 more boxes. 57, 58, 59, and 60. Cataloged a couple dozen more items. What am I stuck on that I don't want to put any pressure on? Something. Alright, there we go. Feeling absolutely nothing from that pack of pate earlier other than a strong desire for more pate. Alright, so let's call this box 60. Alright, I already labeled it. So let's see. Swap over to this view. Let's see, what were we? Did I skip any of the titles that I set up to use? So we did mail call. We have the regular one. Oh, cataloging. I do have a thing that's like cataloging. So I skipped that. Oh well. Not the end of the world. Let's just see. Do I have anything super short? I don't think so. I was going to try and put on another little clip for you guys just while I go wash my hands and take some of this apart, but I can take it apart later. I am going to go wash my hands, so just give me 1 second and I'm going to use the Be Right Back screen. All right. Hands are clean, just rolling some stuff up. All right, let's see, we got, why would you need 3 spoons? Just wipe the first spoon off. Is a comment I missed from Fred, or I mean not Fred, from Fordman, sorry. You know, you're right. There's a spoon I've been using in my desk for lunches at work that tends to go months or years at a time with just wipe it off as the mindset. I'm sure I'll get some foodborne illness at some point. It'll make me start thinking more about this stuff. He says glibly. Don't need that. Don't need any of this for right now. Just break it down. Turn that off. Welcome back, Aletha. I hope you've been enjoying what you've been hearing. It's definitely been pretty visual. Just looking at stuff. Why am I not wearing gloves? In general, I generally only wear gloves when I'm really concerned about contamination or about, me imparting oils to the material that I'm holding or something like that. When I'm handling cans and, the dirtier cardboard boxes and plastic items, I don't tend to go as far as gloving up for hours. But when I'm handling advertisements and, just stuff where the paper itself is all that we're really thinking about, or if it's extremely, extremely rare, then I'll go as far as gloves, but I don't tend to do it every time. Probably should have done it for the RCIs. Some of that stuff is a little dangerous to handle in the first place. Oh, man. How long have I had that case of RCIs? Like 10 years, probably. See, Oscar had eaten one of those food packet assaults. Oh, he's saying, yeah, the chicken stew bars one. It's up on Facebook. Definitely worth a look. Really good photos. Really excited to add one of those to the collection. And I got the same menu that he had opened up. So let's see. We're going to take a look at, not take a look at, we're going to dive into a ration here. Swap over to this view. All right. Don't need this. This was for earlier. What we're going to be looking at is a 2007 menu number 9 beef stew. I know it's not super old, only 14, but excited nonetheless to just enjoy a classic ration. So this one's from Ameriqual in Evansville, Indiana. And we've got the telltale inner bag. Same as the APAC survival meals and the Ameriqual disaster meals, and pretty much anything Ameriqual makes is going to have that inner bag. So we've got, ooh, buddy! Hey, we've got the transition bar. We've got the hua ura. So in between the hua bar and the ura bar, we had the hua ura. There was the Ranger bar and the First Strike bar were the others in the overall series, but this was that. In between, we've got the Department of the Army, and we've got Department of the Navy and Marines, all represented on the one bar. So, Air Force didn't have a fancy named bar just for their own. We've got, let's see, I should get a better angle on all this stuff. So we've got the actual beef stew. We've got crackers and regular cheese spread. Cheese spread seems to be just fine. We've got the Hoorah bar. We've got a chocolate dairy shake. Chocolate's fine. Strawberry 07s, double check your dates. You might die. Salmonella. But chocolate's fine. No recalls on the chocolate. We've got our hot beverage bag, individually wrapped spoon. We've got our heater that we're going to make use of today. And we've got an almost airtight little accessory packet kit here. I was thinking about boiling bag, but we're going to try this heater. As I say that, no, we're going to go with boiling bag. Or should we? Getting hung up on the important stuff, right? Let's see. Yeah, we'll go with using the heater. So definitely way too much water in this. I might run off for a minute to pour some out when it comes time to make the, if it's coffee or tea. It's going to be coffee, I think. But first off, we'll put a little bit in here. Let's get all this over there. TruTech, Riverhead, New York. Nice. This kind didn't lose all the little material all throughout, so there's nothing that's going to fall out of there. Take out the beef stew. It's in one of those heavy foil side pouches. This one's going to be fine. Add a little water, just a little bit. Not quite that much. Pour the excess in here. Right about that. See, one of the ways it seems to work the best for me, and I know everybody's got a different trick, is that I like to get, I like to have plenty of space there, and when I get the heater wet, I let it just kind of sit and soak for a minute, and then I want to get it completely dry, completely out of any sitting liquid again and get some air flowing around it. And we'll see. This one's 14 years old. It should be pretty workable. But as we've all, experienced, even fairly new ones sometimes just don't want to fire up. So let's make sure water's making its way through the whole thing. It's starting to get warm, but not enough that I'd have a lot of hope that this is going to be a cooked meal in 10 minutes just yet. All right. Now let's make sure that any excess water gets a chance to fall away from it. Now this end is completely dry. Ooh, what am I doing? Never pull those out. Yeah, there's an end that just did not get any moisture on it. I'll try to tilt it that way in a second. Just going to put the whole concoction back in this box. Okay. Now let's see if this thing gets warm. I'm going to take half the box as a sleeve, prop it up on the other half of the box. We'll see how that goes. It's hissing. I might have some lukewarm beef stew. Gonna get a bowl out for that. And then we're going to make this chocolate dairy shake while we're waiting on that. So let's keep that looking at that, and we'll swap this around. There we go. And we'll switch this over to chow time because it's chow time. There we go. Nope, that is not accurate. It is not an early 80s MRE. Let me change that text. (2007) MRE number 9, beef stew. Okay, there we go. Now I can turn that on. And it's not centered. All right. First rate, first rate. Okay, so moving on to the dairy shake. Robert, it was good having you here. Smokey, well, we got you. What are you planning for tonight? Let's take a look in here at this. Didn't realize that's been on for a while. So, looks fine. Smells like, well, I think I'm just smelling the hydrogen coming out of there. So instructions on these are to fill with cold water, but to make sure if you just chemically purified your water that you let it stand for at least 30 minutes before you added it to this. So these have the upper zipper. They don't have a gusset. Filled up to the fill line up here, and I'm just gonna, even though it's zipped, I'm just gonna give it a fold or two. I like that extra air bubble in there because it means we can get stuff to mix around, and then we'll see what we can do to mix this up. Howdy, Mike. Did I put some salt in the FRH? I did not. Sometimes that does work. You know, I'm gonna see how this is doing. And it's warm, but it's by no means hot. Let's try the salt trick. Just a little bit of that salt sprinkled in there. And just adding a tiny bit more water because there is a whole dry section of this. And then here's hoping that it picks back up. It definitely seems like it's still warm. We'll just give this some time. I hear more activity now though, so that's something. I really almost don't want to eat this. I only have one other one of these in the collection. I may not eat this just for the sake of having another hoorah. All right, so we were making up a dairy shake. You're supposed to shake these for 60 seconds, and it doesn't say. It says to shake thoroughly. What about the Steelers? I haven't been following any sports in quite a while. Alright, so that's getting closer to an actual drink in there. Let's see. It looks like something. I'm going to let it stand for a minute. Maybe it'll thicken up. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've had an Army milkshake. All right. You've got crackers and cheese we'll get ready, and then we'll make some hot beverage. You know, I'm going to start heating this up just because there's... well, now, I'll be back. One second. It's certainly no sense heating up 2 liters and change of water to make a cup of coffee. You know, we'd be there longer than it would take to cook this thing. All right, so going to open up crackers, get them out. It's been a long time since I had any Army crackers, since this afternoon. Get the cheese all mixed up. Just pretend you're starting a fire with sticks and a bow, or without the bow. All right, and then we got Taster's Choice as the coffee in this one. Almost feel like steam might be getting ready to come out of that thing. Not the best sign that it's this far in, but one of these packages will tear on the tear line. What am I doing? Wrong cup. Got the Taster's Choice in there. We're going to see if the creamer smells all right. And then we'll do a quick taste test. Seems all right. Yeah, seems all right. Okay, so we've got coffee, cream, sugar. All that stuff. All right. Moist towelette, don't need that. All right, the water's boiling. Keep that way the heck away from the laptop. Not going to repeat that incident. Laptops don't drink coffee. Just got to remember that. All right, bust out some cheese and crackers, and then we can check on the temperature on this thing. These crackers feel waxy. Like, the surface of these crackers feels waxy. Doesn't taste. Doesn't taste like anything in particular. And it is front and back. Yeah, and it's the whole cracker. It's got kind of a greasy, waxy kind of consistency to it. Wondering if it's shortening that's, you know, kind of bled through. Let's see what's in the ingredients on these. Enriched flour, consisting of wheat flour, niacin, reduced iron, thiamine, mononitrate, riboflavin, and folic acid. Part 2, vegetable shortening, partially hydrogenated soybean oil with TBHQ to preserve freshness, yeast, calcium carbonate, salt, sodium bicarbonate, extract of malted barley, and corn. Contains soy and wheat. So I think it's just the shortening, you know, it's making its way out a little bit. Nothing to worry about. Let's see. Waxy crackers. Yeah, oil leached out. Seems like it. Doesn't seem anything troubling. There's no strange taste to it. Let's bring the camera over to the tray and swap these. All right, so looks like peanut butter almost. It's somewhat dark, not crazy dark. The cheese, I mean. Okay, Corey, let's find out. So this is it's like a 7030 or something. So this is packed very early 2007. So some 6s are going to be in here for sure, but that's pretty early in the year. So we got 6300 on the crackers. We got 6347 on the Ura. We've got 6297. We got a 6297 on the milkshake. And we got the normal nonsense dates on the cheese, 531117P. Or no, 631117P. So it might be this 311th day of 2006, and then 17 p.m., like 5 o'clock. Like the 5 o'clock series, I don't know. But let's go with 311th day of 2006 day. Now this just seems, oh, no, it's okay. It's cold. It's cold at the bottom here, like cold, but it's hot up there. So we'll see. This box has any stamping. Box up 6345. The whole thing was packed 7016. So not this set, but close. So everything here was produced while you were already alive. I know that makes it boring to you, but yeah, the cheese is a little dark, but honestly, it's not bad looking compared to, you know, the brown of this packaging or the brown of the spoon. It's still pretty light colored. Does look like peanut butter though. cheese just gets better until it goes bad. So while we're waiting on the beef, let's try the milkshake. Oh, come on, bust out. That's gross. Does not. I do have some 1966 rations that we looked at a few weeks ago, Kaylin. The other set of abandoned aircraft. That's better than I remembered the milkshakes. Just gonna give it a minute. Kind of got a little bit of a maybe bad milk powder taste to it. Coffee's good. Crackers are good. Pour this out in a bowl and see how it looks. So, the heater definitely got the upper portion of this nice and hot. I had it slid up just a little too high. And the bottom seems kind of cool, but hopefully we'll knead it all together and it'll turn out okay. All right. Just going to put this down and grab a paper towel. James's pizza is ready. Nice. I cooked a pizza with a little electric convection oven out in the desert a week or so ago. Turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to. Turned out really, really good. I don't know what brand it was, but it really doesn't matter because we covered it with everything we had in the fridge at the time. So it had, 3 or 4 types of meat and a bunch of chopped up peppers and tomatoes and mushrooms and onions and jalapenos and all kinds of stuff. It was just heaped. It was heaped. But the pizza part came out good. All right. So this is looking a little mealy, to be honest. Might just not have gotten hot enough to fully melt, but it's kind of got the texture of applesauce to it, Let's see. Yeah, I think it's just a heat thing. It's not super hot. So it's probably just fat and whatnot. Let's break open a chunk of meat. The meat itself is a little dried out, but not much. Let's see. There's peas in that, he says. There are peas, potatoes, and carrots. Look at that cornucopia of color right there. It's all pretty muted, huh? And hey, look, timing-wise, seems to be right on. It's 10 minutes to 7 as we're wrapping this up. Looks like peanut butter on camera says smoky about the cheese. It really does. Let's do another little chunk there. Like, it really just looks like peanut butter. I mean, I got it extremely smooth, so I swear, I watch people do the, like, let's press it 5 or 6 times with our thumbs and then complain that it's congealed and weird looking. You got to just go ham on your cheese. Really get that stuff worked up, you know. The setting stuff on fire method seems to work great for me. Greasy but good, says Bust Up, and he is right. Gonna take a chunk on a cracker. Honestly, you can kind of taste cracker packaging a little. I think that cracker from the early 90s was a little better preserved. I don't know why, but AmeriQual sits, I think, last in my my list in terms of like U.S. ration manufacturers. Warnick was always number one, and then Sopatco, and then AmeriQual for recent history. You know, we had McAllen, Texas, and then we had Mullen, South Carolina, and then we had Evansville. Lately, with the disaster meals, I've had nothing but perfect meals and perfect pound cakes and perfect everything. So those were all put together really well. Some of these early 2000s MREs, where they're the actual manufacturer of the entree, you know, I think they're a little hit or miss. I know there's some calorie count differences and ingredient differences and process differences, but in the end, it's not really so much that you should notice. Just maybe it's more noticeable years and years later. Yeah, Corey, definitely. Don't let me forget. I think it might be upstairs. So when everybody's heading over to Smoky's stream in 5 minutes or so, I can go check on that. Just dropped a potato. These beef chunks are pretty big, and the meat really, it reminds me of like Tinty Moore, which is a Hormel product, as many of you scarred by our video earlier today can attest. I hope everybody enjoyed the look inside the meat packing plant. You know, we always used to joke as kids that was like all they wanted to show. You know, when the teachers needed a break, was these like 50-year out-of-date films about, you know, different industries. Hormel owns Planters? I'm going to look that up. It was owned by Kraft Heinz until June of this year, when Hormel completed a purchase for $3.35 billion of Planters nuts, Planters cheese balls, and Planters corn nuts, and the 3 production facilities that make them. So that's really neat. Thanks for sharing that, Bust Up. Didn't realize. So we're talking about Hormel You know, and their legacy continues to grow. Excuse me, Kraft Heinz is still its own entity, but excuse me, looks like they passed ownership of Planters. They brought back canned cheese balls this year. Well, that's a good decision. You know, taking them away was crazy. Now that beef stew I had from the 80s, that 1989 or 86 one, that was really good. Definitely better than this one. I remember like a can of cheese balls that you had to peel the foil cap inside the top. I had like a plastic replaceable cover or something for it. I know the big barrels of cheese balls, which I don't think went away. I know definitely not, you know, in my college days. I had plenty of those. But the canned ones from Planters, I remember going away. I'm going to save this. It's just not super common, and I'm not hungry enough that I'm going to need a protein bar or energy bar in general. I've had the apple cinnamon one of these a million times. I'm sure you guys know the flavor and consistency. It's basically like a brick of like pressed sugar mass with some rice and, you know, whatnot in between it. They're good. They're gooey. The apple cinnamon ones are a little spicy with the cinnamon flavor. I mean, not spicy, but you know they've got the spices, I should say. But the cranberry ones they make now are some of my favorites. The chocolate ones are good. The coffee mocha kind of ones are good. But man, oh man, those dessert bars that we make now, they're just basically fudge. They're just basically army fudge, and I love them. But hoorah, the hoorah. This is just such a neat transition era that I'm going to keep this sealed. No, and there was also the Ranger bar, which I mainly find in the cran apple variety, cran apple raisin bar. Came in a square pouch, a long pouch, came a bunch of different ways. Was this style, you know, writing, not a super bright label like that. And then there was the hoo-ah bar, the oorah bar, and the First Strike bar. Army fudge, not to be confused with Ranger pudding, which is just cocoa plus your coffee plus a little water. And for those of you at home that are wondering, if you want the flavor of an Army milkshake, go to Wendy's, get, you know, a chocolate or a vanilla Frosty, bring it home, put it on your counter, go to bed. Tomorrow morning, drink it. Do nothing else to it, just drink it. There you go. I mean, if I'm giving you advice to drink old dairy or something, careful. But the idea is you want to let it get room temperature, you know, all the way through. No one should ever take any of my food advice on this show. I need a disclaimer down there. This advice is only intended for people who have already crossed the line. Don't intend to come back. All right. Last little gulp of this coffee, and then I think we're going to call this a fun return stream, a good productive work stream, and a nice example of early 2000s MRE. I did not see Miss Marilyn through the show tonight, though I did hear the bad news about her mother from Smokey. Speaking of, everybody go check out Old Smokey's stream. He's about to start up. That'll be, let's see. Let me see if I can get a link. Unless, Smokey, you've got one handy. Doesn't look like he's live just yet. So, well, you got to set up shortcut URL. I was going to go to the just Old Smokey, but nope, that doesn't work. All right, backing up. Here we go. Going to dump this in chat. I don't think I have any restrictions turned on my chat. You guys can post links. I don't think it'll yell at you. But that'll get you to his videos page. Subscribe to him if you haven't already, and keep refreshing, and he should be live in just a little bit. Corey, I'm going to hang on and get you just a quick look into your ration. I'm holding on to you. Captain's Warehouse Auction. Oh no, don't tell me about arcade machines that I'm not going to buy. Even if the deals are wonderful. They're probably going to be wonderful, aren't they? I don't need arcade stuff. I need a more permanent residence before I pick up more of that kind of stuff. 5 machines is enough machines for now. All right, everybody. I will, Corey, I'm gonna take some pictures. I'm gonna send them over Discord because that's gonna be up by my office computer. So great seeing everybody. Thanks for letting me ramble at the end there. It was a really good return to the stream. Had a great meal, had a great time, and I will be back next week. I'm going to do another 4-hour stream just because there's still a lot of stuff to take photos of, and it gives me the time to do some mail call, do some food, all that stuff. So I'll see you guys next weekend, Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern to 7 o'clock. We'll see what we find in the archives, and until that, everybody, stay rational.